Hello, folks, and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Trade the Chain. Everybody knows our crypto analysts from MarketRebellion.com, CJ and Monty, because they're fan favorites, of course. But today is Hump Day. It's Wednesday, August 25th. We are counting down to the end of summer, where people have to go back to New York from the Hamptons or wherever Chicago people go for the summer and return back to their jobs. But down here in the islands, the beaches are open all year round. So listen, I'm kind of excited today. We had our profit taking going on in the markets. We're now showing some good, strong strength as we continue to move forward. And as we get closer to the September month, really looking for some acceleration to begin to happen in about a week and a half's time. So excited about that. Real quickly, before I hit the legals, this is the last week of the referral contest for Trade the Chain. Details are all in the description. We're going to have another contest. We're always throwing contests, so definitely sign up for your referral account down below. And of course, don't take anything we talk about, show you, or anything as financial advice. We're not financial advisors. We are merely here for education. So thank you very much. CJ, Monty, how are you?
Thank you for that humble reminder that the beaches in Puerto Rico or wherever are always open. But yeah, that's a good point about the Wall Street individuals coming back from the Hamptons and just overall volume picking up. Usually we always have July and August being low volume in general for equities. But despite that fact, equities continue to rally to new all-time highs today, namely the S&P and the NASDAQ. And IWM, of course, is still just kind of in that consolidation area, but is still pumping higher. It's going to be interesting, though. But I think we're definitely in risk-on territory right now. No question about it.
I want to do one thing real quick. I want to show everybody what's happening in the crypto markets today. As you can see right now, 1 hour change. We're getting back to that neutral point as we start to keep going up in the markets. Now, you could see that we're down for the hour, but a lot of ups for the 24-hour change. And of course, the 30-day, it's not giving back any of the 30-day profits at this point. So here comes the real litmus test. You guys all saw us just do the intro to the episode just now. When I come back to all of us in the boxes where you get to see us all, take a look at Monty's screen. His shirt is matching his background.
I noticed that this
morning. Look at that. You see that? Look at that shirt match that background.
Actually, Bill Parker's the one that pointed that out. He was watching the Daily Crypto Buy this morning. He pointed that out in chat. And I didn't even notice it. Wasn't planned, just coincidence. But if you want to interpret that as bullish, be my guest.
I'm a little suspicious because normally you just have like the volume order book background. And
yeah, for some reason, Senbird, I don't know. It messed with my my background. So I just went with this one this morning. It was last minute. And then I had the shirt on, so I stuck with it for this one.
Well, it is a nice shirt. Kind of tie-dye looking, so...
Thank you.
But more importantly, let's get to the actual meat of it, discussing Bitcoin, because earlier this morning we were a little bit more bearish, and there was some decent reason for that. And one thing that we had alluded to was these lower highs on the RSI. So, obviously we have price going up, making higher highs, but we have a bearish divergence in the sense that the RSI is also making lower highs. However, the thing that I can't ignore is we're also making higher lows. So we're almost getting like an ascending triangle. Let me draw that a little bit better. We're getting like a symmetrical triangle on the RSI, which is typically a bullish continuation pattern, or at least it will follow in the direction which it was going previously, in this case being bullish. So I think this is, you gotta look at this from a little bit more of a neutral perspective, although we are creating lower highs on that bearish divergence. It's more of a neutral type perspective. The thing that I think is pretty promising is that when we look at critical support levels and where the trend has found support historically, we can see in these last couple of weeks that top Williams alligator band has been the critical level to bounce off and buy off of. And we are seeing a bullish candle at the bottom of a downtrend bounce off that top bands right now, which I really love. I think that's a great indication to enter a short-term trade, and I think I will do that if we are to close tonight, like at around above 49K. I think if we close tonight in the next 4 hours above 40 or 49K, I'm going to look for continuation to potentially break into the 50s here. Really, really interesting stuff. I was honestly expecting more of a sell-off to potentially test down to lower levels, but it looks like we are holding that 47 level, which is pretty much our previous high before making our most recent high. So I think that's incredibly interesting and really promising for the space collectively. Yeah, before going over any further, though, in the analysis, I'd like to just pass it back to you guys and open the floor for any points.
Yeah, Alex joked that the litmus test was seeing the matching colors here, but I think, yesterday really was a litmus test for crypto in many ways, because it's so hard sometimes, to differentiate between healthy profit taking and a loss in conviction that the bullish trend is going to continue. Sometimes they look very similar. And one thing that happened this morning was that there was, a large amount of inflows onto exchanges, which sometimes can be interpreted, or most often is interpreted, as a bearish metric. But like I said, it's sometimes hard to tell if it is just profit taking, healthy de-risking, or, a genuine belief that the market is in for a reversal or the market is overbought. I think that now that we're showing strength today, it's proof that it was just profit taking. Traders that have kind of been holding for the short to medium term are taking profits, and you can't blame them because Bitcoin has performed tremendously well over the last month and a half.
Yeah, and just looking at that sentiment start to rise and that price action shoot up today, it's really, it is. I think you're absolutely right, Monty. Yesterday was a big test, and I think we've been tested a lot when it comes to Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm really happy to see that bullish conviction keep going.
Yeah, and I think there's also something to take away from this that we can learn from data, specifically when analyzing on-chain metrics like inflows and outflows to exchanges, because I think when we look at outflows, it happens much more gradually. It typically happens in accumulation periods and is more extended. Whereas when we see these inflows to exchanges, it's typically people either capitulating or selling into strength and taking profits, like Monty had said. We had seen inflows, not this large, but still pretty significant, even going up to 20K, yet we rallied to 60. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the rally is over. I think it's just a little bit of profit taking in the short term.
And I think it was across the board. I mean, just, look at right here. You see all the way down there. It's a mirror, right? So I think it was profit taking across the board in the market. So it's just a macro thing, not generally specific to Bitcoin in itself. And that makes me even more pumped.
Yeah. And what was really key here is to see when the strength resumed. We could have hypothetically consolidated or traded down for up to 4 days, and that wouldn't have surprised me at all. But I think the fact that we're bouncing back today kind of speaks to the fact that, the same traders that sold to take profits are willing to buy back at these lower prices because they have conviction that, this bull run is far from over.
CJ, you were saying before I rudely interrupted you, sir.
No problem at all, Mr. Mascioli. I was saying about inflows versus outflows, and I think the inflows, they're almost a lagging indicator because they happen so quickly. Yeah. And if you think about somebody who wants to offload 2 billion, which was kind of the amount of inflows that we saw today, when we see that, we can front run that and sell. And typically when we already see massive inflow periods, like if you look at when we went to 6K during, after oil went negative, that pretty much marked a bottom locally. Also, when we saw massive inflows, that was most recently at our massive capitulation event all the way down to 30 or 29K, which also marked like a selling climax. So I'm not too concerned about that metric.
Do we have a chart? Do we have an inflow outflow chart?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Got this from Chainalysis. Here are the BTC inflows. It's not as good as the one we normally use, though.
There's a more reliable one. However, it's I don't know if it's going to show up yet because I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but my Glassnode subscription is not the highest tier, so I do not get fully live data. I still get data that's about 10 hours or 24 hours old. So let me see what we've got.
That's like, are we doing yesterday's news today?
Pretty much. I mean, and that's the thing, right? Like this is pretty well-known knowledge. Or just public knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's as it is a lagging indicator. Things are swinging too much in the markets, but let's take a look real quick while CJ's pulling. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, so we'll go from 2017 or the beginning of the last bear market, but yeah, I mean, as you can see in our last two major spikes, that typically leads to just like the bottom. Like, I mean, it called it here as well as here. This is a little bit of a different period of time because we didn't really have corporate interests, and I don't know. It was just kind of a different part of the market cycle that is interesting. But, when these inflows already occur, like it's already too late, kind of, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here real quick, see what's popping on the hourly, and I'm really not into. I'll let everybody else take a look as well with me. Here we go. So, right now we're looking at the hourly sentiment. We have very bullish on Vercoin, Polymath coming in with a 79, but really going down the list of the hourlies, I'm not really excited about too many of the coins, except for Engine. Engine coming number 20 on the bullish for the hour. If we go on to the daily sentiment, let's toggle. We got Gnosis out of the UK, like those. Kusama, very bullish on the 89. But once again, none of the true brands. We do have Ethereum getting on top of that list at 8. Reserve, RSR, ZIL. ZIL's always a good one. But we go back to some of the fan favorites from Avalanche, Cardano, and such. And you're really seeing nothing happening for the day. You're seeing hourly is neutral and daily is neutral. So we'll see which way it swings. But once again, I think we're still working past that intersect back to the positive bullish territory.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's been such a roller coaster of a week, especially with assets like Cardano. I mean, that thing's been on fire. But like you said, Alex, it was kind of an across the board profit taking that took place this morning. And I think what's interesting about Cardano, in my opinion, a lot of people have been asking, if you're riding this position right now, where would you consider, exiting that trade? And for me, looking at the 4-hour chart, I think the 20-period smooth moving average has been a great indication of support. And every time we've dipped below it, traders have relentlessly bought it. The bulls, really bought this dip when we dipped below the 20-period smooth moving average here. We accelerated up and, we came down to retest it once again. And that was bought up relentlessly. We got this nice bullish engulfing candle here on the 4-hour chart. And in my opinion, I would not be surprised to see Cardano continue to make new all-time highs as soon as this weekend, because the momentum has been incredibly strong. We're getting tons of news about, the development that's happening with these smart contracts. And I think that this is just the start of, this next wave up for Cardano. I think the run is going to be, pretty incredible. So watch the 4-hour chart, watch for, a break below this level or even just a retest of this level, because each time it's tested it, it's been a good time to look to accumulate or even just enter a long position.
Yeah, once again, we spoke about this in previous episodes. The Cardano guys they're hodlers. They're looking for the long term. Seeing a lot of the same here with VGX as well. Not a lot of volatility from buys and sells, and that's always interesting. I like that.
Got to give credit to Lucas Bradley. Lucas, if you're in the chat, please let us know. But during a conversation, you really opened my eyes from a programming perspective of the versatility and potential of Cardano. October 1st is when those smart contracts really come to light and are deliverable. And, we explored the Cardano ecosystem kind of this morning and some earlier projects I think are interesting, namely one being Ergo, also the pancake swap of or the sushi swap of Cardano is something called Sunday swap, which is in don't you laugh, but watch it end up doing 10x and never
I
buying
think,
it. I that's probably what's going to end up happening.
I think Sunday swap is going to be a hot one. I don't know if it's 5-10x, but I think Sunday swap is poised.
I'll here, let me take a minute and just pull up the ecosystem chart because I really do like this. It's a good follow overall on Twitter as well, but let me pull that up.
Yeah, this is a cool picture. I mean, there's just looking at this, it breaks it down by sector, and you can see each one of these is an opportunity. And I talked about this morning as well, but how often do you hear people in crypto say, because the industry moves so fast, I wish I was here 2 years ago, or I wish I was here at the start of, ETH when all these, DEXs were launching. Well, here's an opportunity. This is the beginning of something new, something that could potentially be huge. And look at all this potential.
Monty, you're absolutely correct. This chart didn't exist 14 months ago.
Yeah, and some of these tokens have yet to go live. Some are purchasable, some are not. Ergo is actually one that is purchasable and has really trended high with Cardano's recent increase. But if we get like some type of pullback, or if we get kind of a profit-taking area for some of these, I think that it'll probably be a good buying opportunity, like Monty said, because you don't get many opportunities to participate in an early project of a new ecosystem. And this is probably the most highly anticipated utility chain ecosystem launch that we've really seen. I mean, the only one that even comes close in comparison to my mind was like EOS, back years ago, and the follow through just wasn't really there. But what I like to look at specifically, obviously there's going to be a lot of NFT plays, but I think the majority of the NFT plays and those opportunities are currently on Ethereum in things like Engine, Mana. I'm sure there will be others. Chili as well falls into that camp. Axie Infinity. So there are many on Ethereum, and I think it might be a little bit difficult for some of these NFT projects on Cardano to truly gain traction. Just because there's already a ton on Ethereum doesn't mean I don't think there's going to be one or two diamonds in the rough that perform really well. I think there's a high likelihood that we see that. But overall, my greatest interest right now, specifically with specifically in the Cardano ecosystem, is DEX, automated market makers, and yield farming, liquidity mining, things of that sort. I think are going to be really interesting because I want to know, or I want to try to take a guess on what's going to be the Uniswap of a Cardano. What is going to be the pancake swap of Cardano, where the comparable alternative is pancake swap. But Ergo Dex, I think, has the leading or the lead in this ecosystem right now because they have a lot of resources. And probably the most important thing is that Charles has actually introduced them, or I should say, he's called them literally one of his favorite projects. This is from a long time ago. I mean, this is from April 15th, 2020. But he's saying that Ergo is one of the most revolutionary cryptocurrencies ever built. So I'm sure that they're going to get the resources they need if the guy in charge of the entire ecosystem is already favorable to it. So I don't own any Ergo, full disclosure. I just think that it's an interesting thing to watch out for, and I'm going to be looking to potentially get some.
I just want to flex for a minute here. This is DeFi, one of those dexes in the Cardano ecosystem on your chart there. Oh, jeez. Oh, is that me? Anyway, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's the most prolific ecosystem.
How
And
come this is the first time I'm hearing about any of that?
that's been kept under wraps for a little bit.
Okay, great to know.
Maybe we'll do a DeFi or Cardano Launchpad episode, guys. I think you say EOS, and EOS, I don't like EOS. I've never owned EOS. I know some of the EOS guys. I live in the land of one of the EOS guys, but it kind of deflated. I really have to take this all the way back to Ethereum. I mean, that's how prolific it's sounding. I think EOS just failed to connect and execute within their ecosystem, but Cardano, it's almost like an Ethereum moment, only I think with a cooler crowd. Not sure. Time will tell. Guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow. There will be no episode on Friday. Flying to Daytona with the Trade the Chain crew and the Cent Mafia to hang out with the VGX heroes and that whole team. So we will be back in action tomorrow, but no Friday, back Monday. So really appreciate it, guys. Smash that like and hit subscribe when you walk out the door. Would really appreciate that as well. So, folks, have a great day. Hang on to your handlebars and enjoy till tomorrow. Bye.